Hey there, welcome back to Indiana's English Lounge. Today's lesson is on a tricky group of verbs called causative verbs. I'll be focusing on the verbs make, let, have, and get. You might be thinking, oh, I know these words. Have means to own or possess. Get means receive. And make means create something. But these verbs have other meanings when we use them as causative verbs. Causative verbs are used with a direct object, usually another person, and another verb. These are verbs that we can use to show that we caused someone to do something, or we gave them permission to do something. These verbs are used to show influence that we have over other people's actions. But let's get right into it. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoy this lesson and subscribe to my channel for more. The first verb I will be talking about is make. To make someone do something means to force them to do, to command them to do. You are giving this person no other option. The basic active sentence structure looks like this. This verb can sound negative, like you're complaining, as in, my coach made me run laps. This sounds like your coach commanded you to run laps. There was no other choice. Similarly, using this causative make can show a position of power or authority, as in, my dad made me study all night. Because he's my dad, he has authority over me. So he has the power and influence to say, you have to study all night. When we use make, it often sounds like we don't want to do this. We don't have a choice, but we have to. Another way to use make, though, is to talk about experiences or objects that bring up emotions in us. For example, this movie made me cry. Traffic jams make me so frustrated. Okay, here are a few more example sentences with make. The mother made her son apologize to his sister for breaking her toy. My boss has been making us work overtime recently. Taking a bath makes me feel relaxed. My parents never make me do household chores. All right, the next verb we're going to look at is let. When you let someone do something, you're not forcing them, saying you have to do this. You're giving them permission. You're saying, okay, you can do this. Sure, go ahead. The basic sentence structure for an active voice sentence looks like this. So, for example, I let my dog eat dog treats. He wants to eat dog treats, and I give him permission. I give him the treats. Here you go. Go ahead. The mom let her child have a piece of candy. The child said, oh, please, can I, Mom? And the mom said, okay, sure, here you go. She gave her permission. She let her eat the candy. So let is pretty simple. This one is not about forcing or giving responsibility. This one is just about permission. Yeah, okay. Yes, you can. Here are some other examples with let. My mom let me stay up late last night. He let his friend borrow his car. The teacher lets us leave early on Fridays. I often let my dog run in the park. They don't let their kids watch TV after dinner. Okay, the next two are a little bit harder. Let's start with have. When you have someone do something, you're arranging for that to happen. You're giving them a job or responsibility. Having someone do something is not as strong as saying that you're making someone do something. but it still involves some sort of service or job or task. It doesn't necessarily sound like a job or action you would hate to do. It doesn't sound that strong. The basic active sentence structure looks like this. So, for example, I had my grandson help me put my coat on. Here, the grandfather has asked his grandson to help him with his coat. He gave him a responsibility. He had him help him with his coat. The boss had his assistant edit the report. Here we see that the boss gave his assistant the responsibility of this work. It doesn't sound as strong as he made his assistant edit the report. It doesn't sound like such a horrible task, but it does sound like a responsibility. You can also use this causative have with the past participle of a verb, almost like the passive voice, to show that you hired somebody to do a service for you. When you use it like this, you don't even need to say who did the action. It's implied. For example, I had my hair cut yesterday. Have you ever had your nails done? We had our house painted last week. Here are more examples with have. I'll have my secretary call you later. The manager had the team prepare the presentation. Can you have the tailor fix the hem on this shirt? Okay, finally, let's talk about get. This one is a little different from the others because it is about convincing or persuading someone to do something. You have to get them to do it. You have to give them a reason why they should do this. You have to manage to convince them, to influence them to make this decision. And the most important thing is out of these 4 verbs, get requires the word to before the verb. So here's that basic sentence structure. For example, I got my dad to buy me a smartphone. This sounds like I had to convince my dad through argument, through persuasion, why I deserve and need a smartphone. And he said yes. He said, okay, you're right. It took effort, but now he sees my point of view. I got him to say yes. I got him to buy me a smartphone. I got my dog to pose for the camera with dog treats. My dog didn't want to stay still. I wanted to take a picture of him. So I used dog treats to convince him to stay still because he wanted to eat the dog treats. I got him to stay still for the camera and pose with dog treats. The businessman got the politician to give his company a tax cut with a bribe. This means the politician needed some convincing to do what the businessman wanted. So he gave him a bribe in exchange for tax cuts. He got him to give his company a tax cut. Do you see the difference between have and get? Have is much more about just giving somebody a responsibility or a job. But get, this involves convincing and persuading. The other person needs a reason to do this thing. Here are some more examples. I got my brother to help me with my homework. He got his sister to lend him some money. She got her kids to clean their room by promising them pizza for dinner. Now it's your turn. Please practice these causative verbs by answering these questions and writing your responses in the comments. Would you let a stranger borrow your phone? How can parents get their kids to do their homework? When's the last time you had a barber or a hairdresser cut your hair? Does your boss ever make you come in early or stay late at work? That's all for today's lesson. I hope you have a better understanding of these causative verbs. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Good luck with your English studies.